Hi everyone, here's some of us heading your way tonight. Your News at 9. I'm going to tell you about the latest changes to Joplin's pandemic response. Plus, Carthage events known throughout the world is called off again this year. Doug Heddy is weather. Jacob Leonard has sports. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jordan Abbey. A former Webb City teacher gets a 10-year prison sentence but could serve as little as 4 months for child molestation charges. The judge sentenced Nicholas Popejoy to 10 years in prison with a 120-day shock treatment. At the conclusion of that shock treatment, a judge is going to determine if he will serve the remainder of his 10-year prison sentence or be placed on probation. Popejoy was originally charged with statutory sodomy for sexually assaulting a student while Popejoy was a coach and teacher at Webb City Junior High. Joplin man is going to serve 15 years in prison for 3 counts of child molestation. Ruben Russell pled guilty to the charges back in March as part of a plea deal. The deal dismissed 2 counts of child molestation and statutory sodomy. Russell was arrested for having inappropriate contact with a minor back in 2018. Parsons, Kansas man is dead after a crash in Oklahoma. Oklahoma State Highway Patrol says Christopher Alvarado died in a crash on 169 North in Delaware County. The patrol is not saying what caused the crash to begin with. The driver of another car involved in the crash was taken to the hospital but later released. Casey's convenience store on South Broadway in Pittsburgh is closed for the time being after a car drove through the store. No one was hurt, thankfully, but EMS, fire, and police all responded to the scene. No word yet on what led to the crash or when the store will reopen. Mr. Doug Heddy joining us now with the first look at the forecast. Good day today. The temperatures were nice.
Yeah, pretty good. We did have a lot of clouds across the region, but temperatures nice as we did go into the upper 70s for highs. Average high is 75 degrees. The clouds have been increasing over the past several hours. Had a few random showers in our southern counties earlier this evening, but now we got showers starting to pick back up out across northeastern Oklahoma. This is where most of the severe weather is, and we're going to see all these showers and thunderstorms starting to spread in as we go into the next few hours. But I do think any severe weather is mainly going to stay south of the region, but could get some heavy amounts of rain, so we're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, Doug, thanks as always. City of Joplin just voted to ease COVID-19 restrictions throughout the city. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky spoke with city officials and local businesses about this decision.
Joplin's City Council votes to relax all remaining COVID-19 restrictions, as the council voted unanimously to enter Step 4 of Phase 3.
The bigger question is, are servers still going to be required to wear face coverings, or are people in a service industry like barbers and hairstylists, where they will still be required to wear face coverings when they're within close proximity of their patrons?
After the council's vote, they won't be. But at least one local salon owner says that doesn't change anything for them.
We will still continue to mandate masks until all of our employees are fully vaccinated. Until everyone who has had a chance to get it, the shot, has been able to get it. And that's too early for that to be now.
He adds that having a mask mandate at his salon, even when they aren't required, has helped his business in many ways.
I think we've actually gotten busier because we do require masks in such a personal industry where we touch people. And I think that's actually made us insanely crazy busy in doing haircuts and manicures and pedicures because we touch people. You get to know people and you care about them. You want to protect them. You want to keep people safe.
Mayor Stanley says the motivation behind tonight's vote was declining case numbers.
Cases are manageable, numbers are going down, hospitals have capacity, vaccine is readily available to all that want it in our community. All of the math is moving in our favor, and we feel like we've got some room to continue to relax.
Now, the city will proceed with caution should cases spike again. In Joplin, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
Mayor Stanley says that the goal of tonight's meeting was to ensure that the city and council, for that matter, knew what was still in place and what was not regarding COVID-19 restrictions. Joplin City Council also approved an incentive program aimed at recruiting new police officers. The city has been struggling to hire and retain officers, so the program is designed to help with this. Applicants with previous law enforcement credentials or experience can get $5,000 by completing an application and going through the necessary training and programs for JPD. The City of Joplin says hiring more officers with experience will save the city and taxpayers money. Marion Days is canceled again this year. The Carthage, Missouri Police Chief confirmed the annual event was canceled for the second year in a row because of this pandemic. Normally, the festival and religious ceremony brings thousands of people to the Maple Leaf City. Well, health experts say they believe COVID-19 is here to stay. Experts say the virus will most likely become a constant yet manageable threat to the U.S. for several more years. They say the new strains of COVID-19 are developing too quickly for the nation to reach herd immunity. A report from the New York Times detailing these beliefs comes after health officials once believed herd immunity could be achieved possibly by the summer. Most scientists are now saying they expect the virus to become more of a mild infection. Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt today signed an executive order to withdraw and rescind the state's COVID-19 state of emergency effective tomorrow. The governor pointed to the state's low 7-day average of new cases as the driving force behind this decision. We're still seeing plenty of fallout from new reports showing one of the country's biggest teachers unions was influencing CDC guidelines on school reopenings. Fox News correspondent Jonathan Siri has more now from Atlanta.
It's a growing controversy threatening to undermine confidence in federal health officials. Newly released emails reportedly showing America's second biggest teachers union was influencing the CDC on school reopenings, pushing for teachers to remain working remotely while states work to get kids back in classrooms. The American Federation of Teachers says it was simply coordinating with its members about the best course of action, writing in a statement, quote, "Naturally, we have been in regular touch with the agencies setting policy that affect their work and lives, including the CDC.
The unions are holding out for more pay. In the meantime, our children get hurt.
The report comes as a growing number of schools are disregarding the CDC's guidelines on quarantining, allowing students who have been exposed to remain in class as long as they're using other precautions like masks and social distancing. And some doctors say they're following the science.
The science keeps showing more and more there's very little transmission within schools. In fact, there's much larger transmission in the community when you keep kids out of school.
Meanwhile, new cases and hospitalizations are falling as vaccinations ramp up. More than 245 million doses have been administered, and many areas are now offering walk-in vaccination clinics for folks who have had trouble getting an appointment.
It's a relief to get it. Now I can go about business as usual. Don't have to worry about it.
And New York Governor Andrew Cuomo announced Monday that his state will fully reopen on May 19th. In Atlanta, Jonathan Siri, Fox News.
FDA is expected to authorize Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine for young adults ages 12 and older by next week. The action would be followed by a meeting of a federal vaccine advisory committee to discuss whether to recommend the shot for 12 to 15-year-olds. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 takes this time now to honor one of our 4 state heroes. William Brewer served in the U.S. Army from 1967 to 68, spending time in Vietnam. Native of Miami, Oklahoma, Brewer earned several awards, including 2 Purple Hearts and an Expert Auto Rifle Award. We are proud to thank and salute Sergeant William Brewer. He's tonight's 4 state hero. Doug Heddy's up next with a complete look at the forecast, and later, former Webb City Card Zach Davidson preparing to begin his NFL journey with the Minnesota Vikings. Gonna have that story in sports.
Well, it turned out to be a pretty good day for us today. Temperatures upper 70s, 4 highs. Got a little bit of sunshine in there, but also a lot of clouds. And most of us have been dry throughout the day, but we are going to see some showers and thunderstorms working in for us as we go through the overnight hours tonight. So we're going to add to the rain stats. We haven't had really any today for the month, not much, about 1/10 of an inch. For the year, just shy of 15, average is about 13, so we're a couple inches above where we should be. Great time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. But started the day with sunshine, clouds kind of thickening up, a little bit of sunshine again during the evening hours. Temps pretty good, 70 in Parsons, 70 in Miami, 68 in Pittsburgh, 68 in Neosho, and I think most of us will eventually drop down Mid-50s by morning. It is going to cool down quite a bit more due to a cold front that slid through. You can see we have northerly winds, but the winds are kind of hung up in our very far southern counties, and that's where our front is, just kind of hanging out. But because we're on the north side, we just don't have the atmosphere to produce big time storms. We are going to get some thunderstorms in here, but most of the severe weather will stay to our south. A little bit of rain starting to creep into our far southern counties, but most of this is eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and it's stretching back Tulsa toward Oklahoma City. And that's where, again, most of the severe weather is going to be. As you can see, these are all outflow boundaries, but the true front right through our southern counties. But we're just on the stable side of this, so all this severe weather is going to pull into Arkansas, but this moisture will lift into our region as we go through the next few hours. And then also back toward the west on the back side of the system, we got a band of rain. So those two combined will give us some showers and thunderstorms through the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow morning. So here's midnight, rain quickly spreading in, especially along and south of the I-44 corridor. Showers, thunderstorms. You're going to hear some thunder, probably see some lightning. Could get some gusty winds, maybe some very small hail, but I don't think anything's going to be severe. Periods of showers, a few thunderstorms, last through the night into the morning hours tomorrow. This is going to be the back side of the system. Also note our temperatures mainly sitting into the mid-50s, and then we actually kind of drop back a bit near 50, and then I think with a little bit of sunshine, we'll pop near 60 late in the day. Starting at 56, dropping to 51, back up to 60, but a very cool day for this time of the year. Pretty much clear skies tomorrow night, kind of chilly. We go down into lower 40s, a few clouds on Wednesday, but our next system is going to roll in, could give us a few showers by the time we head into Wednesday night and Thursday morning. All right, rainfall amounts. I think a lot of us half an inch, maybe upwards to an inch with this system, which is going to roll through over about the next 12 hours or so. 60 tomorrow, 67 on Wednesday, 65 on Thursday. Thunderstorm chances again. Also a severe threat as we head into Mother's Day weekend. You know what else that means?
What does that mean, Doug?
We're going to do the month long in the second
All
half
right.
hour.
Looking forward to that.
All righty.
We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks so much, man. Coming up, immigration and border security.
The Biden administration is facing growing pressure to change its immigration policies after a deadly boat accident off the coast of California. I'm Madeline Rivera in Washington with more on what happened and the intensifying debate coming up.
At least 3 people dead, more than a dozen hurt after a boat suspected of smuggling migrants capsized off the coast of San Diego. The incident is putting further pressure on the Biden administration to revise its immigration policies as it deals with a surge in immigration. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera is in D.C. with more on the Biden administration's border response.
I saw people just getting sucked out, floating out.
Debris scattered off the coast of San Diego are remnants of the chaotic scene that played out on Sunday after a boat carrying migrants turned over in what local rescue officials called a suspected smuggling incident.
In my 28 years of working, I've never seen anything like this or been on a call this magnitude.
The deadly accident comes as the White House tackles a surge in migrants to levels not seen in recent years. Per Customs and Border Protection data, there have been more than 172,000 border encounters in March, up 400% compared to last year.
This is a nationwide problem, and it's a ticking time bomb.
President Biden has warned migrants not to come to the U.S. Nevertheless, Republicans accuse him of leniency, given his administration's relaxation of immigration policies.
He's totally opened our borders. He's insisting that his public health agencies get more and more migrants into the country, as opposed to our border security being able to stop them from coming in the first place.
The Biden administration, however, is laying the blame on former President Trump, saying they've inherited a broken immigration system.
Children as young as 6, 7 years old coming here with no adult who are sent on a dangerous journey. I don't think that's because of a speech Joe Biden gave. That's because of horrible conditions in Guatemala, El Salvador, and Honduras.
The Biden administration says it will start reuniting some parents separated from their children at the border starting this week. The first 4 chosen families are from Honduras and Mexico. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
After the break, the president continuing his tour.
President Biden continues to make the case for his 2 spending proposals. I'm Lauren Blanchard in Washington. What the top GOP senator is saying coming up.
President Biden hitting the roads to roll out trillions in spending proposals. His administration says they can get it done without adding to the national deficit. But Republicans say it's going to hurt the economy in the process. Fox's Lauren Blanchard is in Washington with the latest.
It's time to grow the economy from the bottom up and the middle out.
In Virginia, President Biden urging Congress to pass his two spending proposals, the Infrastructure American Jobs Plan, a $2.3 trillion bill, and the $1.8 trillion American Families Plan, which focuses on child care and education.
And 12 years is no longer enough to compete with the world in the 21st century and lead the 21st century.
The administration says tax raises on corporations and those making over $400,000 per year will offset the costs.
So I plan on giving tax breaks to the working class folks and making everybody pay their fair share.
Republicans say tax increases will be a step backward. They point to the tax cuts of 2017 as the reason for pre-pandemic economic prosperity.
I don't think there'll be any Republican support, none, zero, for the $4.1 trillion grab bag.
Republicans have proposed a $568 billion bill, which is narrowly focused on traditional infrastructure items. The White House says they will invite Senate Republicans over to discuss what exactly is infrastructure.
We're open to doing a roughly $600 billion package, which deals with what all of us agree is infrastructure.
However, Republicans also accuse Democrats of not negotiating in good faith.
We could get a bipartisan bill, but Nancy Pelosi has shut Republicans out of the process, and unfortunately, so has President Biden.
The Labor Secretary says the next month or two are critical to pass the bill. After that, Democrats may move on without Republicans. In Washington, Lauren Blanchard, Fox News.
Rome's ancient Colosseum getting some high-tech upgrades, giving more insight into how this mega stadium was used. More on this when we come back. The ancient Colosseum in Rome is getting a high-tech makeover. Take a look at this. The Culture Ministry announced the project on Sunday, saying their goal is to create a flexible floor that would give tourists a new perspective on how the arena may have looked back in the day. The floor will be made using a slated wooded platform that we're seeing right there that could easily be rotated to allow light into the chambers below the Colosseum, giving people glimpses of the places gladiators like Russell Crowe or animals were put before being released to fight into the arena. That Coliseum is definitely on my place to go see someday. So much history happened there, some of that history unimaginable, right? Just horrific history, but nonetheless, it's on my to-do list. All right, 30 more minutes, news, weather, and sports coming away.
The Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas is investing in rural health care right here in rural SCK. I'm Zach Dodge with How, coming up.
Also today, beginning an awareness campaign meant to highlight what goes into making dirty water clean enough for drinking. Well, studies show that by 2025, Kansas will need an additional 290 primary care physicians. But studies also show only 2% of new doctors want to practice in towns with less than 25,000 residents. It's leaving rural areas like Crawford County in a tough spot, right? KOAM Zach Dodge shows us what a healthcare provider is doing in Pittsburgh to keep healthcare professionals in Southeast Kansas.
The average age here for a dentist or a doctor is 60, and there is no hope of replacing them with recruitment.
A scary thought, especially after seeing the importance of healthcare during the pandemic. But instead of gaining access to care, residents in Southeast Kansas have been losing it over the years as rural clinics and hospitals close and doctors retire without someone new to fill their shoes.
People will come, get the loan repayment, and then go to where they really want to be, which is often a big city or closer to their families.
So the Community Health Center of Southeast Kansas is trying to do something about it. Construction has officially begun on the John Perello Education Center. It'll be a place where students in CHC's new Family Practice Residency program can learn, a place where students of all ages can learn more about the medical field, and where students in several professions can collaborate and get hands-on training.
Hopefully inspire some young folks to go into healthcare and then keep those who want to finish their education here and practice for all of Southeast Kansas. We're growing our own.
This is more and better healthcare and long into the future, which is a great thing. And if we want our communities to continue to grow, it's important that people have access to health care.
Officials hope construction on the $6 million, 16,000 square foot facility will be complete at this time next year. In Pittsburgh, Zach Dodge, KOAM News.
According to a study done in 2013 and published by American Family Physician, 56% of family medicine physicians practice within 100 miles of where they did their residency program. Senator Moran popped by Parsons today. Among his stops was Cytocheck Laboratory. The lab provides pathology services to doctors' offices.
If you want rural America to grow and we want our kids to stay or return home, these kind of opportunities are ways that we can do it. So from a health, public safety point of view, great to see this laboratory and what they do. And from a growth of Parsons and Southeast Kansas, it's great to see these employment opportunities are here.
During the pandemic, the lab got permission to process COVID-19 tests, several of them for local hospitals, also providers. Missouri is expanding its energy assistance program to more people and extending the deadline for applications. The program that helps pay utility bills of eligible low to moderate income families and individuals is now available to Missourians who make up to 60% of the state median income. Now listen up, you have until May 31st to apply. You can get more information on the guidelines and how to apply over on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Chances are many of us take for granted turning on any faucet in our home, right? We turn it on, there's the water. Clean, limitless water. But this week begins National Drinking Water Week. It's all meant to bring awareness to people. Clean water requires work. The more water we use, the more work and resources are needed.
Countries in the world today that die of waterborne illness, which is difficult to believe in the United States, where we have drinking water that comes out of our faucets every day. But it's important that we know that it's a resource that is limited and one that we shouldn't take for granted.
MOAM, or Missouri American Water, is highlighting ongoing water pipe replacement projects. One of those projects includes replacing 2,000 feet of pipe around 4th to 1st on Monroe in Joplin. India still facing a shortage of oxygen and vaccines as its latest COVID-19 outbreak worsens. This comes as several countries impose travel bans to prevent further spread of a new variant. Fox News senior foreign affairs correspondent Amy Kellogg has more.
India's second COVID-19 wave shows no signs of slowing down. The country recorded more than 300,000 new infections on Monday, days after it reported a global record of 400,000. Hospitals are struggling to secure more oxygen. More than 24 people died Monday at a government-run facility due to the shortage, and citizens are now blaming the government for not securing more supplies.
They're not prepared for anything. We don't have enough ventilators in one hospital. Forget about all the whatever we need for the entire city or the entire nation.
Over the weekend, more than 600 million people became eligible for a COVID-19 vaccine in India, but a shortage of doses has affected the rollout. The country is a major global producer of AstraZeneca's shot, but temporarily banned exports to focus on the vaccine shortage at home.
It would be really helpful to get AZ doses from other countries. We're also talking to the United States, who has committed to sharing their 60 million doses of AstraZeneca.
India's health ministry has blamed the latest surge on a new variant of the virus. Starting Tuesday, almost all travel from India to the U.S. will be suspended in hopes of preventing the new strain from spreading. Australia defended its travel ban on Monday.
We saw a 1,500% increase in cases, a 1,500% increase in cases from India in 2 months. We had to make decisions. This is temporary. It is due to expire.
At least 10 countries have now restricted travel from India. In Florence, Italy, Amy Kellogg, Fox News.
A bit later, American troops going back home.
The final U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan is now underway. I'm Jackie Ibanez with more on what's at stake for the Middle East and why military officials say now is the time to leave.
It turned out to be a pretty good Monday for us today. Temperatures not bad as we did go into the upper 70s for highs. Had some sunshine to start, then some clouds, a little bit more sunshine during the evening hours, but we have been spared of most of the showers and thunderstorms, which have been mainly down to our south, at least over the past several hours. Great time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course. Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, 66 in Nevada, 69 Oswego, 70 in Miami, 70 in Anderson, 68 in Chanute. Eventually we'll drop back into the mid-50s. later on tonight. But we have northerly winds. Humidity has dropped. Our air mass is pretty stable because our front is way down just south of our region. And that's where the showers and thunderstorms, the big guys, that's where they want to hang out as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But you can't see them increasing just a bit. Northeastern Oklahoma, back through northwestern Arkansas, and again, severe thunderstorm watch. We got a tornado watch out through northeastern Oklahoma, but not for us. We are right on the northern edge. We are going to get some powerful storms, but because this front is in the really just south of the region, our air mass just isn't going to support really big storms. So all the big time severe weather stays south of us. Then on the backside, you can see some showers. Those will clip through as we head into tomorrow morning. We are going to get some thunderstorms though, so it could be a little loud tonight. At best, some gusty winds, maybe some pea-sized hail with this band that is going to roll in and then kind of kick out of here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And then by morning, we'll get into additional scattered showers and thunderstorms across the region. None of those will be strong. And then I think most of the rain is going to be out of here by early afternoon. Then we break out and see a little bit of sunshine. Temperatures are going to be cool, but that should help our temperatures pop near 60 for a high. Also rainfall amounts, decent amounts, a lot of areas going to pick up 1/2 inch to 1 inch of rain, something we really don't need right now. Our ground is fairly saturated across the region. All right, showers, thunderstorms tonight, 60 for us tomorrow, 67 on Wednesday, 65, a few morning showers on Thursday. Friday looks good. Thunderstorm chances back in over the weekend. Some of these could be strong, possibly severe over Mother's Day weekend, so we need to keep our eyes on that as we work into the weekend. As we look at the month long, this is based off my pattern. We're in the 6th cycle already, started back in 3rd week of September. Of course, it's severe weather season, an active month, 6 to 8 severe weather events. So let's move into next weekend. We know there's a chance for some severe weather this weekend. You can see the chances. I'm going to unless if it is just a monster storm system that is screaming that we're going to have severe weather, we'll keep the chances at low. But as we get closer to events, we may go moderate or high. But you can see those severe weather chances into early next week. And then again late next week by next Friday, so on the 14th. Let's go into the 3rd week. This should be the most active week. We have bigger storm systems, so you can see I already have 2 chances of moderate severe weather on that Tuesday and Thursday. So that'd be the 18th and the 20th, but we lead into that with severe weather chances, and then we start to dry out as we head into the weekend of the 22nd. So on the anniversary, right now we look okay, which is good news. The 4th week, we have severe weather chances sneak right back in on the 23rd and 24th, and then again as we head into Memorial Weekend. So I do think Memorial Weekend is going to be stormy. That seems to occur about 70% of the time, so it's very normal. And then this is the 1st week of June. Once we get to about this point, our severe weather season starts to taper off. It does last through June, but it does start to taper off. But as you can see, we got a lot to watch over the next 5 or 6 weeks.
I was going to say, oh, May, you reminded us that you're here.
Yeah.
But at least, as you said, May 22nd, you know, we're going to have severe weather events, but at least May 22nd looks okay for now.
Yep.
All right, Doug Katie, thank you so much. Coming up in sports, former Webb City standout Zach Davidson preparing to join the Minnesota Vikings. Plus, Missouri Southern softball smashing records and outside expectations. Jacob Leonard has the story next.
The Girard Trojans and Galena Bulldogs meet on the softball diamond in a CNC showdown tonight. Now, both of these teams enter with 9-7 overall records. Now, they're playing 2 tonight in game 1. Girard gets on the board right off the bat. Emmeline Sinnecott pulls one into left. Michaela Osmus comes in from second for the first run of the night. Moving on to the 3rd now, Galena strikes back. Riley McNeamer, spinner towards second. Ball gets away, one run scores, and after it gets away again, Bulldogs get another with Mia Sarwinski coming home. Galena has its first lead. Down 4-1 in the 6th. Girard not going away. Sam Bruchin, big hit there, brings in 2. Girard would tie it up at 4. Then in the 7th, this was the difference. 2nd and 3rd for Lexi Robinson. She grounds out, but gets the important RBI, and it proved to be the game winner. Girard gets by Galena in Game 1, 5-4. Game 2, offenses got rolling a little bit, but Galena is able to get that one and earn the doubleheader split 11-10. Missouri Southern softball finished up the regular season over the weekend. They swept both Northwest Missouri State and Missouri Western to finish with a 28-13-1 record. Now, 28 wins is the most for the Lions in a single season since 2002. Also, their 19 conference wins this year are the most in program history. Now, Southern is guaranteed a top 3 seed in the MIAA conference tournament, meaning they'll begin the postseason at home this weekend. This team was picked 11th in the league's preseason poll back in January, so that had to motivate them a little this spring, right?
No. That requires caring what other people think about you, and our team, we know who we are, we know what we're capable of, and we just go out and we play Moso softball. Home field advantage is huge. Love when our fans are here. You know, our field's the biggest in the conference, so that's a big advantage for us because we know how to play on it. Yeah, we're just really excited to host.
Central Missouri tight end and former Webb City Cardinal Zach Davidson was selected by the Minnesota Vikings in the 5th round of the NFL draft over the weekend. Now for Davidson, it took a lot of hard work to get to that moment, but he says he's just getting started. It's a moment that Zach Davidson has hoped for years.
When the call did happen, it was a lot of relief, a lot of energy released at one moment.
I was even texting him this morning. You know, we texted a little bit this morning, just like, you know, is it real, and just, you know, how still on cloud 9 about it.
The former Webb City Cardinal was drafted by the Minnesota Vikings on Saturday in the 5th round of the NFL draft.
All my dreams come true in a matter of seconds. It's got a lot of built-up work before that, but right then and there, you know you're going to get your opportunity.
With the draft and the celebration behind him, it's time for Davidson to go to work.
Being a D2 guy, taking off the board that early, there's a lot of expectation for me. And I just can't wait to prove him right.
He's going to work every day. He already texted me this morning about coming up and working at the high school. So he's ready to go, and you know he's going to give everything he has, and really that's all you can do.
I just understand that the job's never done. As Kobe said, job's not finished.
But he is confident that when he shows up, he'll make a good impression at his new job.
They've only seen me on film. They've seen me on my pro day. I'm excited. I mean, it's a shock and awe factor when you see me in person, see how fast I can move, see how agile I am. So I'm just excited to get there and start building the trust with my teammates and coaching staff.
Davidson will report to Minnesota and sign his rookie contract with the Vikings next week. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
The war in Afghanistan is coming to an end after close to 2 decades of conflict. But not everyone at home and abroad believes the decision to withdraw troops is the best for preventing terrorism threats. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez reports.
American leadership means ending the forever war in Afghanistan.
The last remaining U.S. and NATO forces in Afghanistan are moving out. This weekend marking the beginning of the end for the longest war our country has ever been engaged in. But the decision to withdraw is generating both criticism and support as the fate of security in the Middle East remains up in the air.
On the worst case analysis, you have a potential collapse of the government, a potential collapse of the military, you have civil war, and you have all the humanitarian catastrophe that goes with it, and the potential for a return of al-Qaeda.
General Mark Milley, the nation's highest-ranking military officer and military advisor to the president, expressing confidence in Afghanistan's ability to defend itself.
You do have an army that's 350,000 strong army and police forces in the Afghan security forces. You do have a government today, and they have been engaged in counterinsurgency operations.
But on the other hand, many Afghans fear the worst is yet to come.
We are not in a stable situation, and every day the fear increases among the public, and we are very concerned about our own security.
Meanwhile, some experts saying the absence of U.S. forces will empower terrorists to gain new footholds in the region.
I fundamentally disagree with why we're leaving ISIS, who's already in Afghanistan, and Afghanistan, who's already there, to rise and become a threat to the American people. That's fundamentally our concern.
President Biden hopes all 2,500 U.S. troops and roughly 7,000 NATO soldiers will withdraw from Afghanistan by September 11th. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Coming up, going to wrap up the night by checking out the entertainment's coming your way this week on Fox. Competition is heating up on The Masked Singer while new episodes of hit dramas kick off the week on Fox TV. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a preview.
Things get spicy on The Masked Singer. Here's what's hot on Fox.
Let's move. I've got an armed suspect.
Monday starts with a dangerous scene for the 911 crew. Plus, the 118 rush to the site of a hit and run where someone they know is left in critical condition.
Guy is not going to stop until he gets caught.
Then on 911 Lone Star, Rob Lowe's Owen immerses himself in the search for a serial arsonist.
My mother's lung cancer is aggressive.
Tuesday on The Resident, several cases get personal, including when Rose's clinical trial takes a turn for the worse.
The surgeon is back.
Then on Prodigal Son, Malcolm is tracing down multiple killers, and the NYPD realizes someone close to them may be the key to solving this one.
Oh my goodness!
Wednesday, it's the Spicy Six on The Masked Singer as those final 6 celebs perform once again. And Chrissy Metz joins the fun as a special guest panelist.
I don't even know if I make this much money in a year.
That's followed by more competition as contestants guess mystery performers' skills for big prizes on Game of Talents.
I can name that tune in 2 notes.
Thursday kicks off with the guessing game, Name That Tune. Then it's the comedy of Last Man Standing. And bring in the puppets for more satire courtesy of executive producer Robert Smigel on Let's Be Real.
Friday Night SmackDown.
The squaring off in the ring continues on WWE Friday Night SmackDown. And over the weekend,
You'll never be their mother!
a celebration of some of Fox's famous moms with special Mother's Day episodes on Animation Domination. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
And that's our time for tonight. Thanks so much for joining us. Going to leave you with video of the Northern Lights over Finland. Be safe. Do this all again tomorrow. See you then.